Freedom Island. So I had a bad scare today. I've been scared different times, pretty bad scared. But this was the most scared I ever have been. So scared like I couldn't breathe. So scared I couldn't think. I was trembling and shaking and trying not to panic. And it was because I looked through the dirty windshield of the van and I seen Uncle Boyce. And just for a second, I thought he seen me. I thought he was looking right at me. I hadn't seen him for a long time, but I knew him just as soon as he turned his head. I knew him. He ain't hard to miss from the side anyway, 'cause nature ain't been no friend to him, and I don't know if it's nice to talk about how ugly somebody is if they're a bad person, but he is a bad person and he sure is ugly. He is real ugly. His head's too little for his body. He has got a little head. And then his body just gets bigger and bigger. He's shaped like one of them knockdown dolls that they used to have where they put sand in the bottom of it and then they'd blow it up. It'd be like a bozo clown or something like that. You would hit it and it would go down and come back up again, you know, like the little kids would play with. And he's shaped like that. He always has a watch cap on, and he always picks one that's kind of that army khaki green looking. I think he's always trying to look like he was in the army. He wasn't in the army, but he likes to look like he was. And he takes and rolls watch caps it up. When he gets one, he takes it and he rolls it up and rolls it up and rolls it up and rolls it up and then sits it like on the back of his head. And then he's got glasses that kind of make him just look more normal. You know, sometimes with glasses, a person looks like smarter or just kind of more normal. But then his eyes, well, I'll talk about that in a minute, but what else looking at him is he's always got a toothpick or something, a lollipop or something. He used to smoke and he don't smoke now. I don't know why. And he's got to have something in his mouth all the time. So his mouth's always hanging open. And he's always got something tucked in the corner of it. And yet, even though he does not look good, you would think from the way he stands and looks at everybody that he was the handsomest movie star and the head of the football team in a high school movie where he's the big hero or something. I'm sure it must be to cover up. He must look in the mirror. Oh, and he's, it ain't his fault. I don't want to be mean, but his skin's all messed up. He must have had problems with his skin when he was a teenager. And he had that bad kind that gives you trouble and it makes you little scars on your cheeks. So he's got that. I hate to be nasty about it or mean about it because that's not his fault about his skin. But what I'm saying is that he looks in the mirror and he must see what everybody sees. But somehow he puts a cross with his body. He is tall, he's big, so at least he's got that he can kind of tower over the other men. He's not very athletic or, he's not very healthy and, he could lose a few pounds. We all could. It's nothing about that, but he is big anyways. And so I guess that gives him something. He's looking down on people. But there's something always been about him where he really just thinks he is the one that is right and everyone else is wrong. He's always been like that, even though he got arrested, even though he lost his job, even though every girlfriend he ever had ran away from him and hid from him and never wanted to see him again. Even though he don't have no friends, he just has people that's scared of him or do things for him. Get paid to do it or whatever. Don't nobody like him. Nobody want to ever be around him by a choice. He ain't smart. He ain't talented. He ain't good at anything. I mean, he's a little bit mechanical. He's a little bit practical. He's got some basic kind of skills, but nothing to ever even get to be made a foreman or anything like that at work. He's going to be on the floor. If he worked in a factory, he'd be on the floor. Never supervising or never teaching anybody anything or never making plans to do anything. He'd just be the one that was always doing what he got told to do if he was working manufacturing or something like that. And I know I sound so mean about how he looks. And then I sound like he don't have no right to be proud of himself. Well, anybody can be proud of themselves. So people should feel good about themselves. They don't have to go by their looks. They don't have to go by their talents. There ain't nothing wrong with liking yourself or having, your esteem is good and everything like that because you do good things and you treat people right. And, everybody should like themselves. It's not that. It's that Uncle Boyce makes people feel like he has got some kind of special information. He seems so sure of himself. He seems like he's got control of the situation. He talks louder than other people, but he don't have to yell over them. He just talks louder and they just be quiet. And if he wants things to go a certain way, he'll just go stand sort of too close to somebody until they back up a little bit, and then it makes him look like he's large and in charge, And even that part wouldn't be that bad. Just thinking he's great when he's not great, and thinking he's the boss and the leader and in charge when he don't really know anything, or none of that part would even be so bad. But like I was saying about his eyes, what makes you just feel cold all over when he looks at you is he looks so happy. He looks like he knows something that you don't know. And it makes him so happy that you don't know it. And when you find out this thing that he knows, that's going to be it for you. That's exactly what he looks like at his face. He just knows that things are going to go perfect for him. It's like somebody's told him or somebody's fixed it for him, or he's got like a destiny or something. And he feels great because even though all these other things is happening out in the world, he has just got complete belief that the way he wants it to be is just going to be inevitable. All he has to do is just stand there and it's going to be like he says. And I've met some people that is confident, and I've met some people that is crazy, and I've met some people that's got big plans or big ideas or I've known some people that really could get a few things done. They could make them happen and things like that. But none of them gave off this scary. I mean, I don't know if I believe in the devil. Do I? I don't know if I do. But if I did believe in the devil, I believe he would talk with Uncle Boyce and Uncle Boyce would talk with him. That's what the look is that he has on his face, Boyce. He looks like the devil told him in a dream of how bad things were going to happen and he was going to be a king of all the bad things. I can't look at him. His face just, it makes me feel like I'm going to lose. Like whatever happens, I'm going to lose, and he knows it. I think it made it so much worse when he turned and I thought he saw me was because I wasn't really expecting to see him. I'd been doing the van thing for a couple weeks, recording every day. I tried to go at different times of the day, sometimes in the evening, always parking one of my lucky spots. I haven't been making none of these recordings because they're all the same. I mean, what would I say? I parked. It was cold or it wasn't cold. I had a snack cake of one kind or I had a different kind of a snack cake. My coffee was cold or hot or medium or whatever. What would I say? I didn't have nothing, So we got all settled down at the house. Evandra's family had gone back. They're all satisfied. He was all right. We had talked to Vivian. She said it was all right to stay in the house. She liked having us in there because she felt like it keeps the house from getting broke into. She just wants us to pay the utility bills, but we don't have to pay nothing else. No rent, no nothing like that. Works for us. We go together, me and Evandro, and get our groceries at the slightly scary grocery store in the slightly scary neighborhood, but we never do get quite killed, and we go together and come back in the good hours, before it gets extra scary. And it's just been pretty quiet. And then I just go out and do my surveillance, and I've just been putting my charged up smartphone up on the dashboard and doing what I got to do to orient the van and so on, so that I'll get the best recording I can get if there's anything to hear. And there hadn't been a lot, but there's been some talk, and I don't know what they're talking about all the time. And it's not really up to me to decide which things they say would be real good evidence. I'm just collecting everything that they say that it seems like if it's about Freedom Island. I just edit out all the things, all the quiet parts or the parts where they're just telling dirty jokes or just being stupid or when they're really working for a little bit or something like that. I edit them parts out. And then I just save all the parts where it seems like they could be talking about plans. And I haven't heard nothing real incriminating, but like I say, I don't know which parts or what they're talking about, or there might be people that's investigating some of this stuff and they already know what's going on. I'm hoping so. I hope when I bring my recordings to wherever I bring them, I hope I will not be the very first one that will point this out. I mean, it's been on the internet and all that, so I'm hoping they already know and I'm just helping them,